Episode 37 for those of you keeping score at home. It is the Play Pants podcast. That is Rod Ryan. I'm Jason Ginty, and man, we got a lot to cover today. Here's the deal. The anniversary, and you think I looked it up, but I didn't, of the invention of cheese, apparently. You sent this to me, Rod. I don't remember the date. I don't give a shit because it's stupid. But the anniversary of cheese being invented, I guess, happened this week. So we thought, why don't we go through our favorite Power Ballads?
Let's go. It's time. Put on Play Pants.
Is that how you got Power Ballads out of me sending you the cheese stat?
Yeah, because a lot of times if you're listening to a Power Ballad and I walk in, I'm going to bust balls. What is this cheesy shit? So the cheese brought me to Power Ballads. So anyway, but like you said a minute ago, is that you love these songs and I love my top five. So these ones won't be cheese, but usually Power Ballads are the cheese on the album. They were made for the girls to show up to the concerts. The guys show up, they buy the tickets, they buy the shirts, they buy the booze. So we'll do that a little bit later on.
January 20th is National Cheese Lovers Day. So I sent, you want to do top five cheese, and then you got from that, well, let's do cheesy and then Power Ballads. But I said, don't call them cheesy Power Ballads, man. I do. As I'm looking at these, I'm like, fuck, I love these songs. I love these songs.
I got a list a mile long and I could keep going. Dude, I was listening to some I haven't heard in probably 30 years. And I'm like, oh my God, these are still cheese, but I still am a sucker for them. I love these songs and I cannot wait. This is going to be one of my favorite top fives ever, I think. I really do. I can't wait to get to this one, Rod.
All right. Well, week 3 of Mardi Gras, you're in New Orleans. We are rolling in Tux in a couple of weeks, Saturday, February 26th. Is there any Mardi Gras business going on right now? I mean, can you feel, there's no really parades. It's real sporadic, right? With the parades in the town.
Yeah. It's mostly right now, just people eating way too much king cake, decorating.
Thank you. So Jason sent a king cake and it was addressed to my daughter. Mm-hmm. And there was no from in there. Most places, when you send something, there is a little place to put who it's from, and there was nothing. I looked everywhere, on the box, inside the box, anything, anywhere. There was nothing. So now I'm like, fuck, okay, that's cool. I don't want to. What if I call somebody out? Like I call somebody else in New Orleans, like, hey, man, did you send me king cake? No. Is that what people do? They send you king cakes? Like, yeah, other people do, but apparently you didn't. So then I was going to flush it out. I took a picture of her with the king cake and I was going to put it out there on just my personal page and say, okay, well, we're enjoying some king cake. Would the sender please step forward? And then we were talking and you had mentioned, hey, did you get a king cake? And I'm like, hey, numbnut, I'm pretty sure every single online order has you can tell people who it's from, but thank you. Handles?
Haydell's bakery here. It's on Magazine Street uptown. They do some great stuff. They've been around for like a billion years. By the way, it's numb nuts. I got 2 of them, first of all. Second of all, here's a funny thing. It wasn't me that sent it, right? You know it was my wife, because I don't do that shit.
Of course it was not you.
So like for the last 3 days, she's been running around the house going, did Rod get his king cake? I'm like, I don't know. Have you heard from him? No, I don't know. He's got other shit going on. He's got a show to do and stuff. I said, if he got it, he'll remember. He'll send me a text saying thank you. So a couple days more go by and she's on my ass. Like, did he get it? Did he get it? I'm like, fuck. I texted you, hey man, did you happen to get a king cake? And then you're like, there's no from. I went, oh shit, maybe that's why you didn't say anything. That makes perfect
we didn't know.
Fucking sense. So then I go to the wife, I go, it didn't say who it was from. She goes, oh. So anyway, you got a delicious king cake.
Very good.
Haydell's, and there's a million places to get them from, but we went with those guys this time. We try to do something different, a different company every year. And I say that only because a lot of the other ones we usually go to are already sold out. So you got a Haydell's, which by the way, still a great cheap plug for those guys, Rod. So yeah, mostly in New Orleans, it's eating king cake. You're starting to prepare. You're starting to like buy booze, food, beers for the parades that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. And this coming weekend, when we record this podcast, kind of mellow. We're having like a little kickoff party for the Tux parade over at the Den where they house all the floats. So that's going to be mellow.
And our buddy Briggs will be in town this weekend. So he's looking to do some partying.
Yeah. So we things are just getting going. There's a lot of talk like, well, how big is it going to be because of the coronavirus and the Omicron and shit. So
there was no Mardi Gras last year.
I think it'll be fairly big this year. I think people are kind of figuring out, hey, if I got my shots and my boosters and I'm masking up when I have to mask up, we'll give it a rip, see what happens. I think that's kind of the headspace the people I've talked to are kind of in. So hopefully it'll be, I want to say, I hope it's huge so that the city could actually finally make some money after a couple of years. But then I also don't want anyone to get sick. So I'm kind of like, okay, yay, good luck to everybody, So it's tough.
Let's talk just 5 minutes. Buffalo Bills strung together a masterpiece. It may have been the best football game I ever watched. And the fact that they were beating the shit out of the Patriots last week made it that much better with Bill Belichick, who, I've hated for over 20 years now. Was that the best football game you've ever seen? I mean, listen, I know you were in New Orleans when the Saints won the Super Bowl, and that to me was a huge game. I was watching it with Jessica here in Houston, who's a huge Saints fan. So, but that game though, have you ever seen, I mean, it was like a perfect game for a pitcher in baseball. Right. Every time they got the ball, they basically always got yardage, and 7 times they went down. Every time they got the ball, they went down and scored a touchdown. If the kicker wouldn't have missed those 2 extra points, again, it didn't matter. And they did kneel at the end of the game there, but they scored. And the defense was fucking killer. Can they do that again against the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday?
Completely different team. I don't know. They built in the offseason. They built their team for this year. They went out and got the pieces that they thought would be the Kansas City Killers. Like they looked at that game in the AFC Championship game last year and they went, oof, we fucked up big time. Because they did. They fucked up. And they went out and got a few other pieces and parts. So technically this game, they've been working an entire year for this upcoming game against the Chiefs. So if they win, it worked. If they lose, oops, back to the drawing board. You know what I mean?
Sean Salisbury used to be a quarterback in the NFL, and then he was on ESPN for a long, long time. And it was him and John Clayton used to go back and forth and scream at each other. Sean Salisbury is in our building here in Houston. He works at the sports station. He does mornings. Oh, wow. So big dude. I see him in the morning, and we're always talking. He's always asking me about Buffalo and the Bills and everything. And I said, Sean, let's go. What's happening here? He said, well, this is the best game. He said the 2 most talented teams. Not taking anything away because it's going to be Green Bay taking on Tampa Bay, right? He said the 2 most talented teams, the Super Bowl, is Kansas City and Buffalo. Those are the teams, okay? He said it's a shame that one of them has to go away to get to the Super Bowl, but he said it. He said that this is going to be a hell of a game.
Wow, that's cool. For Buffalo fans, and we'll get off this in a second, but, whooping Belichick's ass was sweet. It was so sweet. The only way that you get the what do you call it, the chef's kiss at the end of the season is if the Bills are in the Super Bowl and they play the Buccaneers and they beat Tom Brady. That would be the perfect season. It would be the greatest way to ever win the Super Bowl. You would beat Belichick and then you beat Brady. Dude, Buffalo, New York would just blow off the map.
And then, but you would get your vengeance against Kansas City too.
Yes.
So there's that very famous picture of Diggs. He stood out there and he waited for the AFC Championship game and he watched them celebrate. And then Coach comes out and hugs them. And there's some really, really emotional pictures. He wanted to see that, and he said, "We're going to be back here next year." So, go Bills! Great weekend of football. Tennessee at the Bengals. What? Tennessee, right? Bengals not ready yet. Bengals are going to be good for a long time.
I really love Joe Burrow. Was an LSU guy here in Louisiana. So, and he's a badass. He's just
Are they
cool.
ready? Are they ready?
Man, you know what? A guy like him, if like you said, Cincinnati is going to be good for a long time because of him. And as long as they keep the parts around him, I think they got a chance against Tennessee, because Tennessee's had some weird games throughout the year. They've lost. You're like, why would they lose that game? But, Cincinnati's not ready. They're not ready yet. Next year, the year after, the next 4 or 5 years, Cincinnati's going to be tough to beat.
I think so. I think so. All right. So we got some great football coming up this weekend. There was a concert that announced, and I want to get in because I got a great email that I want to share with you. And it is kind of asking both of us a little bit of something, wanted a little bit of advice, if you can believe that. But we talked a lot about it this morning on the air, and it's this emo fest palooza stock when we were young. It's a Live Nation show. And if you were an emo kid at any point in your life, this is your lineup. My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Bring Me the Horizon, The Used, AFI, A Day to Remember, Avril Lavigne, Jimmy Eat World, Dashboard Confessional, Taking Back Sunday. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. It's pretty amazing, this lineup. It's going to be a one-day festival. I did give it a little time this morning on the air because it's in Vegas. That's an easy place to get in and out of. I don't spend a lot of time talking to the Houston audience about Coachella. I don't spend a lot of time talking about maybe like Bottle Rocket Festival and this festival and Bonnaroo and blah, 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 and Burning Man. I don't really think that a lot of the audience are going. I'm sure somebody is going to Bonnaroo. This, I feel like people are going to pick up and go. That whole emo thing, I missed it. We're in radio the whole time that it's going on, but it never was a passion of mine. Like My Chemical Romance, I got to be honest with you, I could give a shit. Okay. Two songs. Paramore, one song. All right. AFI, one song. The Used, zilch for me. Okay. Bring Me the Horizon.
Most of these bands are one-hit wonders. If you really think about it, you're going to go see One Hit Wonder Fest. It's going to be like staring at your shoes for 9 hours the whole time. Like who? I don't know. I mean, I like My Chemical Romance. And you know who I would like to see? I wouldn't mind seeing Avril Lavigne to see if she can pull it off live because she
just played she was the secret guest at our Alter Ego in Vegas,
right?
Our iHeart show. And she came out and everybody said that she killed, like she crushed it. And she's doing some stuff with Travis Barker right now.
Right. See, that I would go and see, but plus it's Vegas. But outside of that, I can't sit around. I don't have that much mascara in my collection, bro. I can't do it. I can't get my little hair flipped down either like that. I couldn't do that festival. I couldn't do it. It's the one hit wonder fest, man. You know, it really is. I just don't feel it.
So we talked about it this morning. Then I'm getting a bunch of people calling in. They want to go, number one. Number two, then they start digging around. The lineup is so ridiculous. The amount of bands on this poster, everybody knows what a concert poster looks like, where the font is huge at the top and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, they want a different way. Even though the logos go big to small, they're kind of all over the place. The sheer amount of bands, it just looks like they're overpromising a little bit on this. And it's going to be one day. It's 12 hours. They say 11 till 11. Somebody said that they read that it's going to be 3 stages. It's 60 plus bands. Okay. That's 30-minute sets. That's 30-minute sets.
Perfect.
A lot of these bands, the real baby bands early on, they'll play for 20 minutes. It's not that's not an uncommon thing for an opening band. Anybody that plays, if they're going 11 till 11, any band that plays 11 until 2 or 3, they'll probably do 20, 25-minute sets. So it is going to be a quick. So I think they can get all of them on. The lineup looks great, but I don't know why I have my doubts about this show. I don't know what it is about it. It just seems like it just seems like that's a lot of bands, man. That's a lot.
I mean, what's Paramore gonna do? Stretch out that one song for 20 minutes? I mean, it's all gonna be.
Paramore does have a couple of songs.
I know. They're actually a very cool band. They're good live. I've seen them a bunch of times, and I'm shitting on these bands, but again, you're putting together like outside of the top, like Jimmy Eat World's got a couple of hits. But one big one, and some of the acts on there have got a couple of songs, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to go hang out in Vegas and see the show. And you know what I didn't think was, and it's a marketing ploy, Rod, I get it. But the way they're positioning it is, and this is what got me, I was like, oh, well, shit, this is totally worth it at first. It's saying, $19.99 down ticket price. I'm like, what is this, fucking Kmart? I got to go lay away a couch? $19.99 down, and then you can make installments from now until October when the show starts. The tickets are $225 a piece.
Well, these used fans have grown up, guys. They should have the money to drop on a ticket. They shouldn't have to pay. What are they putting tickets on layaway?
Yeah, no, seriously, $19.99 down to reserve your ticket, and then you just keep paying it from now until then. Like, who's going to go see these bands? It's all someone in their, at least in their late 30s, right? 40s.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be a big show. I really do. I think it's going to be a big show.
Well, it's in Vegas, so people are going to try. It'll be fine. The show's going to do fine. It just, you know.
I'm happy for the emo kids. It just never was my thing. Although, if you do, I mean, you know, we were talking about like what bands aren't on here. And, you know, you don't want to shit on the lineup because it's great. They got almost everybody.
Yeah.
But there was a couple that Alex was talking about this morning that were missing. And it's like, okay, Fall Out Boy. Dude, I can't tell you how great they were at the Hella Mega Tour. And I secretly, that's the band I'm embarrassed that I love. I'm embarrassed that I don't put them on, but that son of a bitch can sing. They're good. They're entertaining. They were great. They really were great. And maybe they couldn't turn it around for this show. Maybe they weren't, you know, they've got a killer lineup here. So you can't even pick apart who they don't have. Just focus on who they do have. If you want to see it on the Rod Ryan Show Instagram, I've got the lineup. Email. You got time for a quick email?
I do. I love it when we get emails. I always cringe at first. I'm like, oh, who's going to shit on us for something stupid?
We get emails. To Rodney Ryan. Brother Rod, 13-year listener. My son has listened for the last 5 or 6 years as well. Love the show. Loving the Play Pants podcast.
All right.
What? You listen to this podcast? Thank you.
There's one.
I have a question for you. It may be too specific to bring up on the air, but my son has grown to really love your show and wants to get into radio. He's a senior now, really has to decide what he wants to do next year and study. He's leaning towards U of H to go for broadcasting, mass communications. Do you think he needs to get a degree to work in the industry still? I know you guys have talked about going to school and getting an internship. I've heard many interns of yours on air over the years and wondered if they stayed in the business. Just looking for a few words and some direction for my son, Taylor. He really loves listening in the morning on the way to school. I taught him well, Ben.
Huh.
Well, thank you, Ben. And you are doing a good job with Taylor. That's awesome. Yeah, hearing a kid listening to the show and being excited and wanting to get into radio. Alex P. Middleton has that story. He said he listened to the Rod Ryan Show and wanted to do radio. So he's on the Rod Ryan Show now. Now, is that a 1 in a million? Maybe. Do you need to go to college, Jason, and get a degree in broadcasting to work in radio? It's a pretty common question. I don't want to isolate a million people because we have a million people listening to this podcast, but I thought we could dig into it just a bit.
I would say get a college degree. I don't think it needs to be in broadcasting. I think you could get, this business, and I'm not going to tell someone they can't ever do anything because you can do whatever the hell you want. You just have to have the drive and some luck along the way, like we both did.
You have to be awesome.
You go to college, get that degree, and that way you can always get a job doing whatever because you got the piece of paper that everybody seems to want for some reason. But take some journalism classes, take some mass communication classes, take a shit ton of writing classes. If there's anything I wish I would have done more, is taking even more writing classes because you got to be a damn good writer because if you can't write, you can't speak. They're both hand in hand. And then keep up on technology. But him being a senior in school, I would assume that he's up on the TikToks and the Instagrams and all that shit. So I think those are your bigs, man. But learn to write and read everything you can get in front of your face.
When people say they want to get into radio, and you know this, nobody says, man, I hope one day I can be the promotions director of a radio station. Or I hope someday that, I can, be the sales guy at a radio station. Now, maybe somebody did, because it's fun and you're in radio. But I always assume that when people say they want to be in radio, they want my job. They want your job. They want to be on the air. Mm-hmm. Those jobs are getting smaller. And the amount of those jobs, it's going away. And I'm like you. I'm not shitting on it because I do think there's always going to be people on the radio. Radio is super healthy. We've talked about this on the show, and it's not just because we're in the business, but radio still touches millions and millions of people. And I'm talking about mass percentages in the 95 percentile in cities across America that people come in contact with a radio in a week's time. Most people still in their car listen to the radio, okay? You just assume that everybody right now, when you're hip and you're cool, that everybody just listens to Spotify and Apple Tunes and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. It's not. People still listen to the radio. But also, and I do this all the time, I go, I'm showing my phone to the YouTube crowd. This is radio. I'm holding my phone. This is radio. When I tell people to go to Links and Guests and look at the Instagram feature of the day, I'm sending you to our website. That's radio. We're doing a podcast right now. This is radio. Sure, Jason's on the radio. You're driving around New Orleans and you're listening to him on the air. Same thing here in Houston with me. Was always the ultimate. That was the goal. But man, there's so much more. So I'm hoping Taylor is kicking ass at social media. Not everybody is good at social media. No. Years ago, you know this. Businesses realized, okay, shit, we got to get a Facebook page. Maybe we should, get some pictures up somewhere. And, hey, that waitress's kid, he's 16. Why don't we just get him to do our Facebook page? Fuck, no. Just because he's on Facebook, okay, it doesn't mean he knows how to do it. And again, Facebook, it's still going to be a great thing for your business. But kids today, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, but it's the reels, it's the videos. The videos are key right now in clutch. And that's what Taylor really needs to do. He really needs to, because I know everybody kind of does it for fun, but are you good at it? It's hard to explain because people just have social media. It's like, oh, okay. You maybe post a lot or you don't post a lot. That doesn't mean that you're good, though. It doesn't mean that you're good at it. Are you getting engagement? Are you putting up things that are interesting? Are you interesting? That's the thing, man. They can't teach you in college to be interesting. You just got to fucking be interesting. You got to know. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit about a lot. That's what I tell everybody. I know a little bit about a lot of things. If somebody's having a discussion on something, I can kind of hop in there and fake it till I make it.
When we were starting out, and you remember this because I'm sure you had the same conversation a million times, is when we were growing up, and this is the same for anyone who ever listened to the radio. Everyone on the radio when I was a kid and a teenager, they all had these amazing fucking voices. I mean, they were so deep, ballsy, badass. They sounded like the coolest human beings on earth. They just, every dude I ever listened to, and even the women, some of the women in Canada and in Buffalo where I grew up, had these amazing voices.
Dude, you're talking about Christy Knight, who is maybe the best jock of all time. She was on a radio station, 97.7 Hits FM, and she just, man, woman, anyone, she probably was the greatest jock I ever heard.
And they all just had these great voices. And then, look, I don't, I didn't, I still don't. I've learned to use it. But it was all about, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, Rod, but I think you and I realized, man, our voice is kind of fucking not so good compared to everyone else that was on the radio at the time. But
you just think you can take me to shitty voice town with you and I'm along for the ride?
Dude, you're driving the fucking bus. I'm in the back. But we were smart enough to learn how to say things. It wasn't, those guys were all into sounding good. Especially when we came to New Orleans, dude, there was a station called WCKW that was like the rock station, man. And every dude, they all had these really, I can't even do it. They had these great voices, right? But they didn't say shit. They never said anything. It was just, all right, man, that was Leonard Skinner.
Cool.
They just sounded cool. That was it.
There really wasn't a lot of personality.
Zero. There was none. But so I think you and I never had a conversation, I don't think, but both recognized, man, we better think of some funny, cool, interesting shit to say, because we got no voices to use in the situation. You know what I mean? Like our voices are suck comparatively speaking to what we were growing up with and were fans of, you know? So I recognize right away, I'm like, I better think of shit to say, you know?
And you just, again, some of the best comments that I get on the radio, and it's nice, and this is not me, you know, I'm fishing for compliments, but people like when I tell a story, and then if there's something in that story that's relatable, holy shit, Rod, you know what? I don't like pulp in my orange juice either. Like it's one little thing. That's this big of my story. That's huge. But it's like, dude, I know what you're saying. That's me too. There's no amount of college. There's no amount of classes that are going to teach you to tell a story. And you might suck at it now. And I don't think that I'm great at it. But for some reason, I remember shit from when I was a little kid. And that stuff works. I remember going to the supermarket and going up to the butcher and the guy giving us a piece of bologna, me and my brother. So what did we do? We bit eyeballs in it. We bit a hole in it. We put it on our face and we're walking around Tops bologna face kids. I'm walking around with bologna on my face. My mom doesn't say anything. We're not killing each other. She doesn't care. I'm walking around. My brother's on the bottom of the cart because he's young, and I'm walking next to the cart, and we look like Leatherface, but we got bologna on our face because we bit eye holes in it. I remember doing dumb shit like that. When people hear that stuff, they like it for some reason. Yeah. Did I learn that at college? I mean, you got 2 years and you booked. You're like, I had enough. I don't know why I felt I needed to go to 4 years. And to be honest with you, did I need it? Did I probably not. Am I happy that I did it and have it in my back pocket? I really am. Yeah. I really am glad that I have that. But they can't teach you those types of things. They can't teach you to be interesting. How do you tell somebody you got to be interesting? And I'm not the most interesting fella, but I don't know. I just retain bullshit. I just retain stupid things. Baloney on my face.
But see, you've got that gift that you can tell these stories. You remember all that shit. I don't remember anything from when I was a kid. I really don't. Until you start talking, I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. You know, I remember that, but I don't just have it at my disposal. I pride myself on being able to do a ton of research, and I'm always looking, I'm always reading, I'm always digging shit up. And then I'll twist or figure out a way to say those things about that song that I'm playing for the 9 billionth time. I'll twist it, make it interesting. So the guy driving the truck or whatever is like, oh, it's pretty funny. Or, wow, that's interesting, but I say it in a regular way. You know what? One thing that, and this is the oldest trick in the book, is that, you know, when you listen to someone on the radio, and this will go behind the curtain, this is putting on my program director's hat now, Rod. When you're sitting in the studio as a DJ, you are talking to one person. Okay. Yeah. You're not talking to a bunch of people. So now, from now on, when you listen to radio, you listen to any station, I don't care who it is, but if you hear them starting to go, everybody, you guys, and they're saying all those kind of things, it's one dude. You're talking to one person always one person. And I had a PD years ago, Bob Richards, who said, dude, I want you to relax. I want you to sound like you're just having a conversation with a friend sitting next to you. That's how the best jocks do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, listen to this guy, listen to this guy, listen to this guy. I'm like, oh shit. It took me like fucking 8 years to do it. But I finally got to a point where I wasn't like all keyed up and fuck, I got to say these things. Nah, man, I'm just telling a story. I'm telling a dude, here's what's up. And those are the keys to, you know, like you said, you can't teach interesting. You can't teach cool. You can't teach those things. I can teach you how to push all these fucking buttons and make shit happen. I can teach you a lot of things, but you need to take that basic information and blow it up whatever way it is. And then if you get yourself into a radio station, do everything, because you might think, I want to do this, but man, I'm telling you, you're going to go in 100 different directions. You need to be adaptable. Can you do anything? Are you like, and here's an old reference for you. Can you be Charles Ingalls? Charles Ingalls could do anything. Remember Little House on the Prairie? Go back and watch that show. It's fucking great.
Grandpa? What kind of
old?
Really? I mean, what's up next? Sanford and Son?
My point is, he could do anything. He's like you got to be almost like MacGyver. Okay, is that a more recent reference? Probably not. Fuck. I don't know. I'm old. Either way, know how to do a lot of shit. And if you want to know how to do shit on Instagram, tell you what, next time you're next.
There was that episode of The Honeymooners, you know, and I think really kids could really learn something from Jackie Gleason to the moon.
I tell you that Lucy, she was quite the card.
Lucy.
My point is go, listen to the radio. Listen to the radio. And if you hear people talking about everyone and saying things like that on the radio, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, Ginty was right. When you are looking at your iPhone or your phone and you're going through Facebook and you're going through Instagram, and if you see pictures on there and it's just a lot of fucking noise on that picture, learn to crop your pictures. Cropping, you can take a shitty picture, crop it, and make it great. If you ain't cropping your pictures, you ain't doing it right. That's a simple thing. There's just simple things that you can do on all these platforms and you look like a fucking genius. You really do. It doesn't have to be brain surgery.
It reminds me when a young George Washington chopped down that cherry tree and he was asked, did you chop it down? He said, Father, I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the cherry tree. Is that a good story?
That might not be the best one, but I see what you're doing. I got you. That's a pretty good one. Use older references next time. Go back farther.
A tea party, really what you need to do. All right. So
we need to figure out how to get this shit from point A to point B. Somebody invent something that I can put on this wagon that goes round and round in circles.
Do you need to go to college? I don't know. I mean, college is kind of cool. It's good to kind of have that to fall back on. The world needs tradespeople as well. But this specific instance where I got this email, going to school can't hurt. You got to get that internship. You got to somehow weasel your way in. It used to be easier, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And there's always room for awesome. I've said this forever to all the interns at the radio station. They all will tell you, if you go back, any of them, there's always room for awesome. I think there's still room for awesome. Sometimes it's just like, okay, we just don't have the money. And you could be the best person in the world, but then you got to go find, and you got to kind of be ready to move. Jason and I don't live in the city that we were born in. So that's a pretty common thing in radio too. And man, if you born and raised in Houston and think you're just going to get on a Houston radio station, it's happened, but that's not the case. You might need to go to Boise, Idaho for a little while.
But don't be afraid to try things either. You got to be willing to try anything. You've also, like you said, not be afraid to move, go out, get life experiences too, travel, go to college, have things, do shit, try stuff. Cause then you're relatable to anything, right? Read a lot. I mean, I can't stress enough, read a ton of shit. And just because you may not get on the radio, that's okay. You don't want to know why? Because there are podcasts. You can be a guy who does books on tape. You can be doing all kinds of different production and editing. They're always going to need editors. There's always going to be people, and it can be in the movie business. It can be in radio. So look at all that. Don't just focus on radio and playing in between records or doing a morning show. There's way more out there. There's a lot of opportunities for anybody if you really want to go for it. But you are going to have to work your ass off, and it ain't going to be easy. I promise you that. And you know that, Rod.
Video editing. That would be my final thought on this. Video mother flipping editing. It's so huge. It's so important. Right now, everybody wants video for postings. And they said, I just sent you something today. This year, 85% of social media that gets pushed out will be video. So you're like, well, what, dude, my son wants to be on the radio. What the fuck are you talking about? Social media, hand in hand, baby. Those things are hand in hand. I mean,
all part of the game.
It absolutely is. Okay. Thank you for listening for all those years. Shout out to your son. Good luck, Taylor. Thank you, Ben, for the email, and appreciate name dropping the Play Pants podcast. He listens to this.
That's awesome. But this is also radio, Ron. This is also part of it, man. Get a podcast going. That's how you're going to take your lumps. You want to start now? Put together a podcast, do it by yourself, find a topic, start writing it, start doing it. You can do it. And then if you really want to be crazy, send us a link. We'll air check you.
Oh shit.
We should be doing that for a lot of people, actually.
I don't know. They're going to listen to this podcast. They're going to say, you guys want to air check me?
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a short little break. I don't know where you're going, but you want to take a break here, and then we're going to come back and do the our top 5 favorite power ballads.
Dude, I was going through power ballad lists today, and I was just eating it up. I was eating it up, man. It's like, there should be a power ballad station.
I was pretty locked in. 1, 2, 3, and 4 happened pretty organically for me. And then a million songs could have been number 5.
But before we take the break, can we just, so that way I got time to change my list, just in case. Did you stick strictly like you're talking like mostly like 80s metal, hair metal bands? We're not going off like fucking, like Fall to Pieces from Velvet Revolver. I love that freaking song, right? But that's not metal. That's not.
It's a power ballad. I mean, I
didn't know what the parameters were.
I love that song. It is a power ballad. Right. It really is. Like Journey's not my thing, there's probably a couple Journey songs that it's just not it's not going to be on my list. So it's your list. It's your favorites. So I think that Velvet Revolver, Fall to Pieces is a classic power ballad. And they did it well, we can talk about this after. Let's talk power ballads afterwards. Just fucking grab your list, grab your top 5, grab your balls, and come in with and come in swinging.
I got it.
Okay, we already talked a little bit about New Orleans. When you go to New Orleans, not if, when you go to New Orleans, it's a great time right now. Everybody's gearing up for Mardi Gras. You got to take the Pirates tour. That's right. They'll be doing the Pirates of the Quarter tours all throughout Mardi Gras. There's no other walking tour like it in the great city of New Orleans. You'll hear the stories of real pirates and the influence on the New Orleans history, where stuff went down, right where you're walking with pirates giving you the tour, where you're going to be standing. Things have happened in history. This is history, but don't worry, there's no quiz afterwards. And you're not even going to realize that you're learning such cool stuff because you're having such a good time. You're walking around New Orleans, you're drinking your beers. The tour is fun. Yes, it's educational, but you're just going to find yourself talking about it afterwards. My God, look at all the stuff we learned. So it's outside. Social distancing is not a problem. Book your tour now. Piratesofthequarter.com. Rated 5 stars. A ton of fun. Bring your drink. Hear about the Pirates of the French Quarter. More info on the links wherever you get this podcast. And of course, at Pirates of the Quarter, tons of social media, right? At Pirates of the Quarter. And of course, piratesofthequarter.com. You can book your tour. Okay.
Rod, there's been a lot of people from Houston taking the tour lately, and they've all been citing the Play Pants podcast. So just if you're a business owner and thinking, man, that Play Pants, we should probably advertise. Just throw it out there. It works. It totally works. Just throw it out there. You want to advertise with the Play Pants podcast?
Yeah, the podcast worked great for my business. My business just didn't work. We used to have another sponsor, and it was the business's fault that they're not on. It wasn't the podcast's fault.
I don't know if I'd have brought that up.
Lucky's Pub West. Okay. Power ballads. I mean, I've got very strict on some of this stuff, okay? If you come at me with poison, I may have to punch you in the nose. If you come at me with every rose has its thorn, I may think less of you. There's
no way.
There's super cheese in this stuff, but there's also greatness in this stuff. And again, it's up to the person. But if you come at me with anything from Poison, dude, I'm going to be a little upset with you.
I think you already know.
I don't know how much less I could think, but it would be to an all-time low. Whose turn to go first?
Yours.
That
I don't care if it's not. It's yours on this one, because this is going to come back to haunt us. I know these songs are going to come back to haunt us hard because people are assholes and they're going to fucking break balls, and I can't wait. I love it.
So, I mean, some of these songs have been attached to moments in my life. Yeah. Some of them have been attached to old, filthy, hoary girlfriends. All of these songs have attachments to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My 1, 2, 3, and 4, I had to just jockey for position, but that really wasn't that difficult for me. There's a million. I feel it's a shame that we only do 5. 6 songs could have been my number 5. So I'm like, damn, okay, that I had Velvet Revolver fall to pieces. 2004, I think it qualifies. I wrote it down. I'm flipping a coin because I brought it down to 2, and I'm going to go with Dokken, Alone Again, in at number 5.
That's so good. I love that song.
Alone again without you. I mean, George Lynch, I love. Dokken, there is a little bit of cheese there because Don Dokken can't sing. I think he has a terrible voice. But George Lynch is like Eddie Van Halen-esque as far as his talent and his skill and his innovativeness. He just was in this band, and I like Dokken. I like Dokken. It works. It works for me.
Right.
Don Dokken's voice just blows. But it's Alone Again is a fucking great song. And again, I'm sure I had a breakup with a chick, and I used to go down and just cassette, rewind, cassette, play, cassette, rewind. That was one of them.
Tooth and nail, baby. I had the same one. Rewind the shit out of that song. And I love Dokken, but did anyone ever suggest to them to get a producer and an engineer that could actually listen and hear things? Because the production on other albums just sounds so bad. It's just shit.
Yeah, they needed to get like Ted Templeman in there or something to bring them to the next level. Because Dokken really got left behind. You know,
Tooth and Nail's a terrible sounding album. It just sounds like shit. Anyway,
okay, these are the 4 bigs. This is the real Mount Rushmore here. In at number 4, my oldest song on the list. And I was thinking about power ballads. You were asking questions about, what do we consider a power ballad? I think you could have gone all the way back to Black Sabbath, Changes.
Yeah.
I really do. If you had that on your list, I would actually give you a couple of cool points for it. I love that song. It's just not one of my all-time favorites. But maybe that's the first power ballad for when it comes to rock and metal. So I was thinking that was my starting point. 1984, Night Ranger, Sister Christian. That's making out in the backseat of a car. That's a finger rocket song.
That's some Night Ranger. Yeah, by the time they got really rolling after the guitar solo, if you weren't rounding third in the backseat of your Pinto, bro, you weren't going home.
Dude, Sister Christian still fucking slams. It slams. If I'm driving around and if I'm listening to XM and it comes on, I'm cranking it every single time. It's the same reason why I said Christmas music is special, because it takes you back to when you were a little kid. These songs, if they're cheesy and you want to make fun of us for them, then that's fine. They take me back to a certain time. And that definitely takes me back to, over the bra, over the panties, making out.
Night Ranger cranks up. You know exactly what your finger smells like.
Yeah, no doubt. Sniz. All right, number 4.
Wait. Let's go back to Night Ranger quickly. I used to love that song until I saw Boogie Nights, and they use in that great scene where the little Chinese kids run around in his underwear, lighting fireworks off. It's like, it doesn't quite work for me anymore.
All right, number 3. This, I can tell you the girl's name. I can tell you everything about it. I'll spare you the details. Cinderella, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, 1988. Peak fucking hair metal. Peak.
I mean, just
88.
Massive too. What a massive sounding song.
That was Cinderella's Dream On, because it's the piano. It's the piano with the stool, and it's Steven Tyler, but it's the lead singer of Cinderella. And if you remember, Cinderella rose quickly. And they might be one of the best hair metal bands just because they weren't a hair metal band. They of course they had the look and everything. Night Songs, of course it's a hair metal band, but man, they had a lot of bluesy elements to them. They were a great rock band, and I see where they get lumped in. But Cinderella, they would come down. He would start at the rafters and he would come down. And I don't know if he stole that from Steven Tyler or what, but that was impressive, man. Seeing Cinderella live and him coming down from the rafters playing that song. I mean, you were dry humping your chick if you were, in your seats at the concert. You were definitely, everybody was just grinding away during that.
You go home. Hey, how was the concert? I don't know, but man, did my balls hurt.
Yo, Blue, you're my boy.
See, the thing about a good power ballad, and this Cinderella's Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone really sums it up, is it's gotta be slow. It's gotta at least start slow. It's gotta build. It's gotta have a great story. It's gotta have some like love lost in it. This has got all the elements. It's got all the elements. And I had forgotten. And again, Cinderella, the voice, after a few, I'm kind of like, okay, got it.
See, I give him a pass. I don't know what it is. For some reason, I can do it. Like I can listen to, we talk about listening. For me, if I listen to like 4 Rod Stewart songs, I'm like, get me and him a fucking lozenge. Okay. We both need a cough drop right now. It starts to hurt my, I'm listening to Rod Stewart sing and it's hurting my voice. I don't know why I give him a pass. I love him. I love it. And that's one of the things that held the band back as well. The voice was, only Axl got out of that era sounding like he sounded,
Right.
Cinderella, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, in at number 3. In at number 2, fucking whipping out the White Snake, Here I Go Again. Right?
That comes up on the power ballad. It almost feels like it's too fast, too rocky, but I'll give it a pass. You know what I mean? Like Here I Go Again is like a kind of a rock song. I don't feel that that's if you just said, Is This Love? I'd have been like, yeah, that's a good power ballad. That's right. Whipping out some White Snake. That's in the back seat right there. The Mustang 5.0,
I think the dynamics are just enough for the song. And maybe it's the other mix. It's the mix with the keyboards and everything. And it's the build up and everything. And it really does. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
You can't go with the first album version. The one that was the hit was the remix.
Right.
And that had the keys in it. And that one was a power ballad. So I think the most popular version of that song was a power ballad because they went in and constructed it as such to get in on the power ballad fucking bandwagon that every single band did. So I will defend Here I Go Again by Whitesnake as being a power ballad. In at number 1, the fucking GOAT, Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home. I'm just
the greatest power ballad of all time. Still fucking slams. Yes, I lost my virginity underneath a Tommy Lee poster, and that song probably was in the mix there. So yeah, I think yeah.
Theater of Pain. Theater of Pain, right? Yeah. No,
Theater of Pain definitely was playing on cassette. The greatest power ballad of all time.
Wow, this is great. I love these lists. This was interesting. You surprised me twice here. I did not see Home Sweet Home as much as I love that song and as a power ballad and all that shit.
Really?
I can still listen to it today. Actually, I can still listen to it. And I play it a lot on the radio, and I have over the years. Still love it. I didn't think it was going to even make your list. I'm surprised by that. The other ones, I'm not. Sister Christian kind of surprised me a little bit, but if it's got a memory attached to it, then it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't surprise me very much, but that one surprised me a little bit. This is great. I can't wait to talk about the leftovers on this list because
the leftovers like Thanksgiving might be the best part of this whole discussion.
Dude, there's some leftovers I can't wait to talk about. All right. So nice. I like it. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna crank up that Cinderella song. I have not listened to it in years. I have not, but I will go back and crank it up. I promise you.
I love me some Cinderella.
All right. Cool, man. Well, then, you know what? I think your love for Cinderella is kind of my love for a band called the Scorpions. Okay. And I know what you're thinking. No, it's not that song. I promise you it's not that whistling shit song.
That's if you say my song's a shit song, I'm going to punch you in the nose.
No. When to Change, I like that song. I just,
no. I'll show you my paper. Go ahead. Tell me the song.
Still Loving You from the Scorpions. Still Loving You.
My paper.
You wrote it down?
What is it? Can you
Still
see?
Loving You. Yep. Still Loving You.
Again and Still Loving You. So when I told you there were 8 songs probably that could have been number 5 on my list because the 4 were slammers. That was kind of easy for me. During the whittling down process, it came down to Dokken and Scorpions. Still Loving You is fucking a great song. I mean, it's my 5B, you know?
So great. And it's long, and it starts off so slow and unassuming, and then it just keeps building. And Klaus, his voice, I've always loved that dude's voice from the Scorpions. Number 5, Still Loving You.
Live version of that, dude. Scorpions live was fucking killer.
Worldwide live.
I'm not always the biggest live guy. You know, I've talked to you and I've been on you about UFO, Strangers in the Night, the live album. That's where you got it. That's your entryway to UFO. It, believe it or not, is their live album. But Scorpions,
great.
Not that I don't love, but Scorpions and Kiss, the live stuff, it's so great. Now, is any of it really live? You know, who knows? I'm not getting into that debate right now. But the live version of Still Loving You is phenomenal.
It's a great song. Still a great song. And again, haven't listened to it in years. And you know, I'm going to be cranking it this weekend as I prepare for the Bills game. This song has come and gone on me twice. Like at first I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. When I first got introduced to it years ago, I was like, awesome, cool. And then I'm like, oh, this is cheese. This is stupid. I fucking hate it. And then I saw it live and I'm like, oh, I really fucking hate it now. And then there was a movie that had it in it. And it's number 4. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Kiss and Beth. I fucking hated that song for years.
Why did you hate Beth?
Because I saw Peter Criss do it live and I just went, oh, this is terrible. This is fucking
Peter
bad.
Criss do it live though? Was it actually Peter Criss?
Didn't we see the reunion show? Didn't we drive to Lafayette? Was that the reunion when they first got back together, put the makeup back on, like 97?
Yeah, that was Peter Criss. You're right.
So I saw it. I was just like, oh, this, because I liked it. And I saw him do that. I'm like, I fucking hate this song now. This is awful. And then the movie, what was it? Beautiful Girls. It's fucking B underground cult classic, at least in my house and your house. There's a great scene in it. I don't want to ruin the movie if you haven't seen it yet, where this song was used. And I'm like, oh, it's fucking perfect. And then
he's crying because it's associated with a girl that's
perfect.
Together, and he's bawling and he's doing an act of kindness because he's been nothing but, you know, they've been jerks to each other. But Beth is playing, and it's brilliantly used in that movie, Beautiful Girl.
So that song's come and gone a couple of times in my life, and I'm like, I still like. And then the lyrics really hit a lot harder now because people working a lot. It's like, oh, I can't come home yet, you know, that whole thing. Anyway, that's great number song. 4.
That was floating around on my list. Go ahead.
Number 3, and just because I'm a fucking huge fan of the band, and yes, I'm a huge fan of this singer in particular, Van Halen, When It's Love. Fuck, dude, it's so good. You got these fucking keyboards they got such a great sound that Eddie got out of them. And then the song builds and it's going, and all of a sudden it changes and they're doing all that na shit at the end. And you're like, oh, this thing just gets better and better as it goes on, you know, and it's just a great message and all that shit. Haven't listened to that song probably 10 years.
Can I ask you this? And I'll take your word on it. Is Little Dreamer a power ballad?
Little Dreamer. Yeah, I had to sing it to myself. Yeah, I guess. I don't think it ever.
Yes or no?
Kinda. I think Roth just was never the power ballady guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Never. Like Sammy could definitely write that lyric. You're like, ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like I could play that when the girls are around. That might flip the switch. You know what I mean? That might do it.
Are all slow songs power ballads?
No, I don't think so.
Right?
I don't think so. No. Because power ballads, like I said, it's got to have some sort of love, love, bad, breakup. There's got to be something in it.
Now, you and I, we don't have to explain everything. There's some things that don't need explaining, but this is interesting. I'm throwing it out there now. Is Heaven by Bryan Adams a power ballad?
I would say yes, because it's got all the lyrics and the whole thing. It's got the story. It's slow, but I don't think of him as like a rock. Bryan Adams is a rock guy. He plays a guitar and he sings, but I never lumped him in was rock. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know why. He's just one of those weird. He's like kind of a standalone out in the middle of nowhere kind of dude to me.
But it is a power ballad though, right?
Totally. It's a great, actually, I scratched it down. I love that song from a Cheese.
You wrote that down?
I did. It wasn't on my top, but it was in there.
I mean, everything I do it for you. I mean, Brian's got a couple in there that were really huge, that were big prom songs. I mean, if you had a prom song then I think it counts, you know?
Yeah. No, I think Heaven counts. We've brought this song up on the podcast before, and I took shit for it then. I'll stand by it again. Number 2. And this one, you know, all the songs are about love and stuff. Well, this one's on the other side of things. It's I Saw Red from Warrant.
Ugh.
That song, and I'm not a Warrant fan at all. And in the other power ballad they had, their first one was called Heaven, and that one is just cheese. That one's fucking cheese.
Yeah, Heaven's pretty cheesy. Warrant's cheesy to me.
I can't. No.
Warrant is in the poison bucket. They're just. I just never could get into them. Now, later on, and reading a couple of these, you know, 80s books and hair metal books and things that I've read over the last couple of years. Jani Lane is pretty respected as far as a songwriter, and I never got into Warrant. I always, the Down Boys, all of it sucked. All of it was cheesy. They all dropped down to their knees. It was choreographed. It was terrible. And I know Kiss did some choreography, but people will say that Jani Lane was really talented. He was a really good songwriter. It's just not for me for some reason, you know?
He fought to not release Cherry Pie. He's like, don't release that piece of shit. I don't want to be known as the cherry pie guy. Well, he ended up being the cherry pie guy. But if you listen to and it's the lyrics that really get you. The lyrics are brutal. He walks in on his chick and she's with a dude. And it's well done. It's well done. I've always liked that song. And then number 1,
it's so bad. Like, here's what I can't stand about it. Because the song is over with. And then it's like, no, I'm not done. Oh, it must be magic. And then he winks. That
was in Heaven. That was a different song. Okay. Yeah. So you're okay. I'm telling you, go back and crank it up. You're gonna be like, oh, fucking Jason's right.
Does he do something stupid at the end of the song that doesn't need to be in there?
Probably.
You sure that's Heaven?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know my power ballads. Number 1,
wow, where are you going, dude? Did I take up all the great songs?
Oh, dude, these are our own lists. You can't judge like that. You can need a little bit. This one. Again, I always liked it, but then in the last few years, I really liked it because I felt the power, and no one sings like this anymore at all. Not too many people did before. Skid Row and I Remember You.
Okay, 18 in Life and I Remember You. I mean, both of those. 18 in Life doesn't really have the theme of what you were talking about with the power ballad. I Remember You certainly does. And his voice is fucking next level. It's absolutely next level on that.
At the end, when he really wails, it's like, oh, like it is everything. It's got the story, girl guy bullshit, you know, I Remember You, all that stuff. And then just his voice is just, Sebastian Bach's voice is just unreal in that song. And that's why I've always loved that song. And I love it more today. That's my number 1.
I always say this about Skid Row. You know, that was off of their debut album. And of course, you know, they came out with the rock song. This is what all bands did. They had a formula down. The band would come out, they'd put out the rock song, and then they'd put out the ballad. Every single band did it, and that was the formula. You put out the rock song, that was your introduction to the band, and then the second song was brought in the girls. The first song got the guys to go out and buy the album, and if they were touring, then boom, the guys are going to come. The girls came on the ballads. So that formula, everyone had to do that. If you were going to get a second album and you needed to sell back then, you needed to sell 1 million copies if you were going to get a second album. So that ballad always did it, or it didn't. And you didn't hear from these guys again. Skid Row obviously had a career after their first album, and everybody told him, you got to I Remember You. I need another 18 in Life. And they wouldn't do it. That fucking album, Slave to the Grind, is so heavy. And I give them a lot of props for that, but it probably was not a great thing for them. So,
wasn't smart.
You know, what's smart? You know, I'm talking about their artistic integrity and stuff. You know, maybe they're super happy with the way that they did it and they held out and they held to their, you know, what they wanted to do, but they just did not deliver them another one of those. And that album, I mean, they're fucking touring with Pantera, dude.
I know.
But they still had to do I Remember You opening up for Pantera.
But I bet it killed. Because the
girls showed up. That's it. Once you've got that ballad, the girls are coming. They're absolutely coming to the show. It
did become a formula, you know. It became a huge formula. I had songs. I could still be writing down songs right now.
I'm going to say, can I say the biggest song that didn't make either list?
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest song by
miles
far.
miles away from Winger, miles away. Fucking still great.
No. Guns N' Roses, November Rain.
Yeah, I play it every day. I can't get into it. Still great.
It's the biggest power ballad that's not on either one of our lists by a mile.
Still great.
I mean, who knows? I mean, every rose has its thorn. I can't stand Poison. I hate them. For all I know, that song was bigger, as far as charting and whatnot. I don't know. I mean,
it did well. I can't listen to it. Yeah. I made a joke about Winger, but miles away, if you go back and listen to it, it's like, fuck, that's got all the elements, man. It's got the whole I miss my chick thing going on, and it's got a nice sound to it. I'm going to get in and out on Winger. Winger was probably the most talented band out of what everyone calls hair metal. They were probably the most talented band. Rod Morgenstein on drums. Are you fucking kidding me? He's a beast. You're like, who is that? Just the best drummer. No big deal. Reb Beach on guitar. Yep. Kip Winger is a fucking number one. He's a great songwriter. He really is a good singer. Fucking killer bass player. The musicians in that band, and they got shit on the worst. I think we've talked about this before on the air. That Beavis and Butthead thing, it ruined them. It really did. It ruined them. Everybody just got in line and said, oh, I'm supposed to make fun of this band now. They took it more than any other band. And I've been on record as saying that before. The talent in that band was stupid. That's it. I'm out. And they're not even my favorite band. I'm just saying the talent was ridiculous. They've got good songs. You know what? What do you got for like a guilty pleasure Cheese song in there? Like,
okay.
You're like, okay, I'm not allowed to like this song, but I do like it.
A ton of them.
All of them.
One that was close. So when it came down, I told you that my number 5 was Dokken, Alone Again.
Right.
Still Loving You was right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then bubbling just under that, I love this song. Cheap Trick, The Flame.
I had it right here. Bam. There it is.
I fucking love that song. And they were forced to do it. They didn't write it. They were forced to put it on their album because power ballads were the thing. They didn't write power ballads. So they were kind of forced to do it. I don't know what the band feels about it. I don't know that much other than they didn't write it. And I feel like it was a cram down from the record label. Probably that doesn't not make it a great song. And that doesn't make Robin's voice fucking phenomenal on that song.
It's great.
It's the best he's ever sounded, I think.
It's so great. It's
still great, right?
Yeah. I love that song. I've seen Cheap Trick a million times. I can't recall if they did it live or not.
Oh yeah. They do. They have to.
Okay, yeah. I figured.
I did write down Velvet Revolver, Fall to Pieces, 2004.
Great song.
So Velvet Revolver plays here in Houston. Okay. And I go to the show. I just get here. It's 04. This is when I moved to Houston. Velvet Revolver, you know who all the players are, almost everybody in the band. And they played live, and the only thing that we knew was, I think, that song I'm Running Free, which was on one of those Hulk movies that didn't go anywhere. It was like one of those bad Hulk movies before they figured out how to do CGI. But the song I'm Running Free was phenomenal. It was the only thing that we were kind of playing on the air. I go see them live. And I don't know any of the stuff that they're playing, right? They're doing all Velvet Revolver songs, but they do Fall to Pieces. And I see Slash up there. I'm like, this is going to be a fucking hit. Holy shit, it's Sweet Child of Mine Part 2. I'm watching this song live, and I said, this is going to be massive. It was okay. It was a hit for them. It wasn't massive. I don't know why. It's my latest power ballad out of everything that I wrote down. 2004 VR.
I want everyone to do me a favor. Okay. I want you to go look up a song on YouTube. Once you're done watching this on YouTube, it's on our YouTube channel, by the way. You can watch this each week. I want you to go dig up a song. It's from Kiss. It's called Reason to Live from the Crazy Nights album. It's full blown Paul Stanley cheese. No Makeup On. Reason to Live from Kiss. Go look it up. This thing about Paul Stanley, since it is his birthday this week, he was born in 52. What's he like? 170. Why is it? And we can save this for another day, but I love Paul Stanley's voice. He can sing. I really like his voice, and he's got the juice to sing these power ballady type songs. Right. But they always write, it just never quite hits home. It's always like, oh, that's really kind of pretty and nice, but ooh, is it cheesy? I don't know if it's his voice that does it, or the song, or the lyrics, or what, or the way he fucking moves around and prances. I'm not sure what it is. They just can't deliver the goods on a lot of those songs like that. And I listened to the song just before we started. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this song. I can't get past the cheddar. You know what I mean?
Kiss. To summarize it, it's easy. Okay. I mean, you go back, anybody that's a Kiss fan, you're going to go back to the stuff from the 70s. Okay. They sounded like Kiss. The problem is that, once, you would say Dynasty, once Dynasty hit, they were chasing disco, and then, the Revenge album, they were chasing grunge. They were chasing a sound. Every single album starting with Dynasty, they were chasing sounds. What's happening right now? Okay, let's go do that. If you remember that Revenge album, that was supposed to be their grunge album. It just, you just can't say that about Aerosmith and Van Halen. They didn't chase a sound. They were their own sound, and Kiss just got lost. They took off the makeup. The best thing they ever did was put the makeup back on, and then they just kind of became an oldies band. But all that stuff that they chased, I can't listen to any of it. I can't listen to any of it. Look it up. None of it. I don't like it. And I think it's one of my favorite bands. And I didn't even have Beth on my list, but of course, don't was huge back when I was, a little kid. But all the Kiss stuff, I'm so hypercritical of. It's just right. I don't give it the time of day. Hot in the Shade. Come on, don't bother me with that.
See, I like the Revenge album. I was like, okay, at least they got heavier and they tried to be a little. I didn't think of it as I know they were chasing the grunge sound, but I was like, damn, there's some decent songs in here that actually rock. And it was like nice thick production on it. I was like, I liked a few of the songs on that album. Maybe I need to go back and listen to it. But at the time, I remember going, okay, not hits, but I like them. Yeah.
It was all detuned or whatever it is. Yeah, they were chasing grunge at that point.
It's weird because it's almost like, and I know this is a weird parallel to draw, but there's the whole Van Halen, better with Sammy, better with Dave. Obviously, that discussion will never stop happening. But then you got Kiss, pre-Dynasty, post-Dynasty. It's almost the same thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I can't imagine anybody saying, yeah, they were great after Dynasty. Now, I know there's a lot of people. There's some stuff on there that's good. There's a couple of things in there. It's just, something was lost, and then the band was lost. They really were. And, then you're changing out members and you're doing all of the shuffle that they did. And, and they put in great players. They had great people in there. Bruce Kulick is a fucking great guitar player. He's a phenomenal guitar player, and he was awesome. And I just can't get into any of that stuff. I just never really gave it a chance. I had Skid Row written down. What about... And this was another one. So it kind of went Alone Again at 5, Scorpions at 6, Cheap Trick, The Flame at 7, Tesla Love Song.
Ooh, that is good. That is
good.
Dude. Doesn't feel like a power ballad though, because Tesla had a different sound. You know what I mean? I love it.
Oh my God. I'll fight you all day on that. Power ballad all the way. Power ballad.
Oh no, it's fine. It fits into the thing, but it just didn't have that same sound.
Did you whip out a lighter during that song? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Answer is yes. So absolutely. It qualifies. The lighter factor had to be there. That was the one that light them up. Here we go. Tesla Love Song. And then if you were with a chick, that's the one that she wanted to hear. And that's the one that brought it, that got the girls there. That's a great song. Tesla, another band that I say, they get lumped in with the hair metal thing. And
They weren't. They were definitely not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Had a different. Tesla to me is like what the Black Crowes were to grunge.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, there's all this shit happening, but then we got this really cool band called the Black Crowes. Where do they fit into everything? And it was like they kind of got, they're not grunge, they're not this, but Tesla is kind of like the Black Crowes in that respect. I can't believe you didn't put Carrie from Europe on here, dude.
Did not.
Where's your Firehouse? Where's all that stuff? Where's all the cheese?
Love of a Lifetime. The most infamous power ballad in my book is Steelheart, I'll Never Let You Go. That to me is, what do I mean by the most infamous song? Well, one hit wonder for sure. The guy could sing. He hit notes that no man ever hit in a rock song, ever. I mean, it was Mariah Carey hair metal. It was Mariah Carey of rock at the time. And the fun fact about that lead singer is he did a lot of the vocals for Mark Wahlberg in the movie Rockstar. Yep. So when you hear those songs in that movie, which I know Jason loves that soundtrack.
I fucking love that movie.
I believe that's the Steelheart singer doing all that stuff.
It is. He's doing two of the songs, yeah.
You know, Steelheart, you probably don't even know them by name, but if you heard that song and if you heard the notes that guy hits at the end, it's so ridiculous. It's so self-serving. It's so unnecessary, but he could do it. I have no idea if he could do that live. I have no idea what the shelf life of that is. I don't know where that guy is today. You know, because everybody's got to kind of adapt and maybe you don't quite hit those notes like you do, but I think it's still kind of in rotation, isn't it? A little bit on some statements.
The guy's name is Miljenko Matijevic, and I am completely saying that wrong. He's Croatian, and yeah, he can wail, dude. In the song, I can't remember the songs from Rockstar, but yeah, he sings the two that Marky Mark goes into the booth.
Stand up and shout.
Stand up and shout.
That's him.
That's him. He's doing all the vocals for that, and yeah, that dude can wail. I don't know who's playing that song unless you're Dee Snider and House of Hair.
I don't know one other song by the band. I mean, absolute one-hit wonder. I could not even tell you, did they come out with a rock song first and then this? Because here's what happened, and they probably were on the tail end of this. Then they were just going right for the fucking ballad. They weren't even letting the band do a rock song. It's like, okay, we're at the tail end of this thing. Just give me the ballad. Give me the cheese. Let's go in there. Let's go bank and see if this is going to work. If not, we'll just move on to the next, guys with long hair. So I don't know that they had something out.
You're right. You are right. Because holy shit, I know way too much about Steelheart. I forgot about this band. Okay, so I'll Never Let You Go was the one that we're talking about. Okay, they had another power ballad on the album. Okay, this is, like you said, this was 1990. So this is the wheels are falling off the bus for the hair metal in 1990. They were killing themselves, right?
Yeah, they didn't even get the cool rock song to start. It was like, let's go right for the money.
They did I'll Never Let You Go was their hit, and then they released a second power ballad called She's Gone, and it's drippier and worse than the first one. They went, you don't need to, it's terrible. We All Die Young, that was from the movie too.
The Rockstar movie.
The Rockstar movie, We All Die Young, great song. Yeah, so they were in the whole, look, let's just put out a couple of power ballads because that's the cash cow. And I can't believe we spent this much time talking about Steelheart.
I'm at a concert. I cannot remember. See, kids, I don't remember everything. I remember putting Bologna on my face when I'm 5, but I don't remember who's playing. Poison does not get me to the Woodlands Pavilion, but whoever was playing got me to the Woodlands Pavilion, but we had to sit through Poison first. And I'll have to email our friend Pierre, but it's just him and I. Pete and I sitting there drinking beers, and we got good seats. We're up close, and everyone's standing, and it's Poison, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn comes on, and I'm like, we're fucking leaving. I'm not standing here next to you during this song. Beers. I don't want to even see you. If you so much as tap your foot to this song when you and I are standing here, I'm not doing it. I'm taking myself out of this situation because they did Every Rose Has Its Thorn and they did the other one. Give me something to believe in. Probably they did those back to back. I said, Beers, I'm out of here. I'm not standing next to you during this. It's embarrassing.
I saw Bret Michaels. He did a festival here in New Orleans, and there was a bunch of other bands I wanted to see, and he was on his solo tour. And he came out, and he's got his cowboy hat, and his bandana, and his wig all glued on, and all that shit, right? And he's wearing a shirt. It's Bret Michaels of Poison, standing on stage with a T-shirt on, with Bret Michaels of Poison on his T-shirt.
You got to sell merch, bro. He's probably selling T-shirts afterwards.
I'm like, what the fuck? How do you out cheese Poison? And he did it. He fucking did it.
I saw him as well when he was doing whatever his reality show was.
Oh,
whatever chick I'm dating at the time wanted to go. And I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. And I went, and it was so cheesy. He seems like a nice guy. I've interviewed him before. He is a really nice guy. Let me just say that. He absolutely is a nice guy. He'll talk about everything. He's really smart. He's just so fucking cheesy. That band, I never liked him. There was never even a window where I thought, okay, you know what? This is all right. This point, no, never, ever, 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 ever did I think that Poison was good, cool in any way. I couldn't support anything that they did. I just thought they were always goofy.
What was the album? Open Up and Say Ah. Is that the one that was the big one? And they were all like looked like girls on the cover.
I guess that's the debut album.
I remember looking at it going,
Elves.
who are these four chicks in this band? They're kind of hot.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, it's fucking dudes.
I wrote down Kicks, Don't Close Your Eyes.
Good. Nice. I like that one.
Love that song. I wrote down Damn Yankees, High Enough.
Yep. I had it. I like it.
I remember our buddy Ty, who does tattoos in New Orleans, still out in Kennerbra. He told me that video was filmed outside of New Orleans. If you remember when Ted Nugent, like, we got to get them damn Yankees, and they go into that like cabin in the woods, and the cops show up and they blow it out, and they pump it full of lead, and then Ted Nugent breaks down the door and he does his guitar solo.
Of course he does.
It's in a swamp. It's somewhere by you, dude. Somewhere that video was filmed there. So I wrote that down, and then I needed to make a note of this because this is another band that the power ballad. This is an instance where the power ballad ruined a band.
Oh,
and this is the most glaring. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. You know, the song Name by the Goo Goo Dolls, it didn't ruin the band. It just made them make a right turn. And then, okay, guess what? Johnny is now the face. He's now the songwriter. He's now the singer. We got to do more Name. I think we talked about this just the other day recently. And I said, I told Tessa on the air, I go, the Goo Goo Dolls were a punk band. When I first got into them, they were playing on the night of my graduation party. Morris and I were having a graduation party. Some friends of ours said, I'll stop by, but we're going to see the Goo Goo Dolls at the Continental. 1987. Okay. They're a punk band. And Robbie's the lead singer. Name did not ruin that band. Name actually did wonderful things for the Goo Goo Dolls, but Extreme, More Than Words, I think it ruined the band. Fucking that first Extreme album is so awesome. I don't know if you remember Get the Funk Out.
Great song.
If you don't like what you see here, get the funk out. And Nuno Bettencourt is another guy that I would at least put at the table with Eddie Van Halen. Mm-hmm. Nuno Bettencourt is a fucking brilliant guitar player, and he can sing his ass off too. And he's still out there. Everyone knows that Nuno's great. And everybody knows that the lead singer of Extreme was in Van Halen for a short period of time. And Gary Cherone takes a lot of shit. The album's not the worst thing I've ever heard. I'll just leave it there. But More Than Words ruined Extreme. They were a funk. They were a rock. They were a very talented band. And Extreme More Than Words ruined them.
But they got caught in the wash a little bit too. I mean, yeah, that song was huge and it was, that filled some bank accounts, but the timing of that song, I'm just looking it up. I know I gotta fucking look it up. I don't know everything.
88, 89.
Yeah. So that came out at a weird time. Extreme kind of got lost in the shuffle because they weren't a metal band. They weren't a grunge band. They weren't, from a commercial standpoint.
They were funky. I'm telling you, if you went back and listened to that first Extreme album.
Oh, no, it's great.
You would be blown away. It's so great. It's so great. And I haven't heard it in a while.
1990. So they got, yes, that song, I agree. It fucking hurt them. It totally hurt them. But it also, they got caught in the wash because, okay, 90, then you run the cycle on that. What are you going to put something out in 92? Guess what? You just walked into a brick fucking wall.
Yeah. The Seattle wall full of gum.
So, that's where some of these bands,
they did put out Hole in My Heart. That's where they were both singing back and forth. And that's where you realize that Nuno could really sing his ass off.
Okay.
So I do think that that's an instance for a band that it just did not represent them at all. It did not represent Extreme at all.
Well, there's a great story where Green Day, punk rock band, whatever you want to call them, pop punk rock band, they released an album called Nimrod, and they had the guitar, the slow acoustic song, Time of Your Life on it.
Yep.
So that hit all the top 40 radio stations, and the mom taking the kids to soccer practice radio stations. And so all these people were going out and buying the Green Day album, and that was the only song on it that sounded like that. The rest of it was just, 2.5-minute blazers. And they all returned the albums because you had to buy the albums back then. You weren't just downloading singles, So people got pissed off.
There's some rock songs on A Boy Named Goo, and that's the album that the Goo Goo Dolls name is on, right?
Yeah, because that's the one. There's a bunch of great rock songs on that album. That's great.
Robbie, the bass player, is still singing half of them. Well, after Name, see where his production, his lead vocals dropped off way after that. It's like, okay, guys, this is what works. This is what's getting the people in, that putting the asses in the seats. But I wanted to mention that about Extreme because Extreme was a great band. Extreme was an unbelievable band.
Yeah, all the talent in that band. You're going back to like a band like Winger. I can't believe we're having a Winger and Extreme conversation, but it's weird. But it kind of parallels each other. Great talent, but got caught in the wash. Literally got caught in a rock and a hard place. Timing. How many great bands have you seen throughout the years and went, oh, why aren't they huge? A lot of it is timing. They had a great album. They had great songs. It wasn't the hot new sound at the time. You know what I mean?
Is Metallica Fade to Black a power ballad? That was the other question that I had.
I don't put it in that genre.
Is The Unforgiven a power ballad?
I guess it could be, he's kind of whining about, Unforgiven and shit. I guess maybe, but I don't think of it that way. I don't know why Metallica and power ballad just doesn't register.
I don't know. I mean, Fade to Black, I think, is more a power ballad than The Unforgiven, if you want my honest opinion.
Right.
I'm wondering what people think about Metallica not being on this list and not being in our discussion at all up until right now.
I guess I just never equate Metallica with power ballad. I mean, I know they got some slow songs out there and they did branch out a little bit more on different albums, but Fade to Black is a great freaking song though. I gotta be honest. I don't know. Did that one bring chicks to the concert?
No.
Yeah. Well,
on that criteria, you're right. No. Is Stairway to Heaven a power ballad?
Well, if you think about the way it starts off, it's really slow. And then it just builds like a lot of these power ballads do. I guess technically. But it came out at an earlier time. And I don't know. That's a weird song to throw into any category, I think. Is it really a love song? I've never really paid attention to the lyrics. I got to be honest.
What the fuck he's writing about? Who knows? Aleister Crowley over there.
I don't know what he's droning on about for 7.5 minutes. Oh, something about stairs and heaven and all this shit going on. I don't know. Try to write a lyric, Robert.
This will be fun. As always, when we do these, we want you guys to put out your top 5 lists, and it doesn't have to be anything that we talked about, but hopefully we stirred the soup a little bit where you start thinking about some of these songs. You're right. I mean, Skid Row, I Remember You it's awesome. Awesome. Maybe I got burned out on it.
I don't know if you remember this, Rod. I used to host a program on Friday nights on WRNO here in New Orleans years ago. I think it was on from like 10 to midnight. I think it was on from 10 to 11, but I fight and clawed to make it 2 hours. And it was all hard rock, metal, and shit. And so I would do this show and record it because I had the ability to record my talk breaks in between the songs. And you and I'd sit at the house playing pinball and drinking about 6 cases of beer and just getting blasted and cranking the fuck out of the show because I would just play whatever I wanted. And it was Iron Maiden. It was all this heavy shit. But I always had one segment, and I called it the Mellow Mullet.
I don't remember the name of it, but I think I do remember this.
And every week I'd pick one fucking power ballad and I'd play it, and I would bust out everything you heard us talk about. One song every week. I go, all right, we got to slow it down. Something for the ladies. The Mellow Mullet, and boom, you'd bust out the Cinderella, the Doc, and I'd play all of it. And I just happen to remember that right now. I forgot I even did that stupid show. That show was great though, because you'd be like, you know what you should play next week, dude? And I'm like, I don't know what. You'd be like, play this. I'm like, fuck yeah, good idea. It was basically you and I think we were working at different radio stations at the time. And you're like, dude, me and you program this show from cases of beer playing pinball every week. And next week, boom, there it was. That we'd be playing those songs. Oh, you forgot. You should play this next week. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have been doing that.
Power ballads are great. I look forward to somebody tearing us up about this stuff. These songs fucking take you back to a moment in time. I love it.
Yeah, and a lot of people in our age group are all like, yeah, you know what? Never Say Goodbye from Bon Jovi. That was my prom theme. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, great song. Can't listen to it, but great song.
Never liked Bon Jovi either. Another one of those guys, just the cheese factor. And
it's huge. His voice is a little weird.
They were too big, you know? No Def Leppard? No Def Leppard on anybody's list?
Great songs. I just can't. We play a lot of them on the radio. So I get into that.
You guys play Love Bites?
Yeah. It comes up.
Is that their most power ballady song, Love Bites?
No. Def Leppard's got they've got some shit out there. There was one that was huge, like in the early 90s. What the hell was it? It was from a movie or something. 2 Steps Behind or something like that. It was just.
All I'm thinking right now is Love Bites was like a huge.
Love Bites is still is huge.
Is that in regular rotation on classic rock?
Like a slow rotation, but yeah. Too Late for Love.
Now Too Late for Love is badass.
Too late.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad? That's later stuff, but that was cheese too. Love Bites. Yeah.
I can't. Hysteria. Def Leppard Hysteria was Kiss Dynasty. I still liked Kiss Dynasty. I was still on board with them. I Was Made for Loving You. I was in. Okay, I'm still in on that album.
Yeah,
but then it was, you know, I was. That's what started me to get out of it. Hysteria. I'm getting out of Def Leppard already. The early stuff, Pyromania, got me into the party. Then I went back and got High and Dry and all the other stuff. Hysteria was just. I'm completely out on all of it.
So you said Love Bites, Bringing on the Heartbreak.
Oh, Bringing on the Heartbreak's fucking great.
Yeah, that should be a good one. We play that on the classic rock station. Yeah.
Mariah Carey remade that.
Oof, really?
She remade that song. And that was, I mean, it's Mariah Carey.
Nah,
she gets her ass off, you know.
Yeah.
I'll close with this. Why can't Kelly Clarkson go and do a cover of Cinderella, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone? Why can't you take those lyrics? And that's just one of, we could probably dissect this whole list, okay? Why can't Carrie Underwood do Cinderella, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone? Would it not be a fucking hit?
For her, it would be, but I wouldn't like it. I can't stand that chick. She can't, I fucking can't handle it. Give me Kelly Clarkson all day long. I like her better.
Do you think Kelly Clarkson has a better voice than Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood, I just can't with her. I don't know what the deal is. She's got the twang and all the horse shit that goes with it. I don't know. She's hot. She's awesome. I would rather listen to other people sing these. You know what? That's a good point though. Why has no one ever taken like Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone and made that a hit again? Because that would be huge.
Could you go in Olivia Rodrigo, 19 years old, biggest songs last year, Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home. Just fucking do it. Just put it on your album and just see if anybody grabs it. Put it in there. You got 10, 11 songs on your album. I don't know what pop princesses put on their album anymore, if they put out albums. But if you got 9 tracks on your album, lay it in there at number 8 and just say Home Sweet Home, T. Lee, it'll say who wrote it. But that's it. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't lead with it. Don't even mention it. But record fucking Home Sweet Home on your pop album. It would be huge, right?
I think so, but I think Home Sweet Home or a song that's huge like that, like a massive one, go a little bit below that. Do the Cinderella. Do Alone Again.
I don't think anybody that, yeah, you could do that. And yeah, great argument there.
Do those.
I don't think any Olivia Rodrigo fan has ever heard Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue.
Good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
I don't think they've ever heard it,
No, they would scare those kids.
Okay. Go to the cheese, man. Firehouse, Love of a Lifetime.
Yeah.
Fucking Reba McEntire, go do it. I don't care. Why aren't they mining these songs? If I was anywhere if I was Kelly Clarkson, I'd put out a fucking album of bangers. I'd put out a fucking album of your top 5 and my top 5. There's your 10 tracks.
Done. And you know what?
Put out an album. And then one of them's going to be a hit. One of them's going to be a fucking smash.
And you could produce it. You could strip the cheese off them. You can make them cool.
You could be wrong.
Totally. Oh, dude, you know what? Fuck, I got it.
The problem is they would go in and do Every Rose Has Its Thorn. They would absolutely have to. If somebody's going to take some cheese, they're going to take that dumb song.
Dude, you know what? I got it. Fucking in 5 years from now, when Adele makes her next album, this is what she does. It would be so great. She'd have to pick the right songs.
Okay, I'll give you a name. Miley Cyrus could do every one of these songs. Miley Cyrus could sing every fucking one of these songs that we just mentioned right now, and she could put out an album of them. And you can't tell me that one of them's not going to be a hit.
Oh, I guarantee it would. But Miley Cyrus is a tough putt to get across the finish line for a lot of people these days. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot going on with that mess. There's a lot going on. She's talented. I saw her a few years ago at the iHeart Festival in Vegas, Rod. I don't know if you were there because you worked for iHeart, but I was there.
Yeah, never gone. Shut up.
Miley Cyrus came out and I was like, do I have to sit through Party in the USA? And I did. It was actually very good. She did a Pink Floyd cover and crushed it. And I don't even like Pink Floyd.
The best. Her covers are the best.
She just smoked.
Anybody that's going to come at me with bringing up Miley Cyrus, the Chris Cornell tribute, Say Hello to Heaven.
Yep.
End of story. Okay. I even asked Vicky Cornell about it. I'm like, what the hell was Miley Cyrus doing there? And she's like, yeah, I know. And that's Chris's widow. I said, the crowd acted a certain way when they brought her out, and they acted a totally different way when she was done singing. She did Say Hello to Heaven. She hit all of Chris's notes from Temple of the Dog, and she won over the whole, whatever, the forum, whatever it was where they were playing, the Staples Center, whatever it was. And she can do every one of these songs. It's amazing that somebody wouldn't go in and cultivate one of these. Nobody needs to know who Firehouse is for you to go have a hit with Love of a Lifetime.
And you would, if you, like I said, stripped some of the cheese off it.
They were pop songs. They're all pop songs. That's all they are.
Songs.
And that's what makes them cheesy, because they were pop songs. They really were. They were just played by rock bands
with their ripped jeans and their big wigs. That's how it worked. Yeah, unfortunately. I like this idea. We need to talk to somebody and we can produce it up. The Play Pants presents.
Give me Olivia Rodrigo. Give me Olivia Rodrigo right now. Stat.
Dude, the girl on your t-shirt right now. She wants a comeback. There's her comeback.
Dude, Britney could sing all these songs. You kidding me?
this would be an opportunity for her to get out of there spinning around in circles on Instagram every day, and she could actually go and do something productive. You know what I mean? I think it would be cool. This could be working for her.
In all honesty, I think somebody going in and cultivating a whole album of it, it just looks as it's looked upon as a joke. I go back to my original, throw it in at track number 9. Don't talk about it. Release your single, then release your second single, and then wait for some guy. I don't know if there's any mavericks in pop radio that go rogue and say, wow, I found this on this album. Wow. I mean, I doubt it, but somewhere out there's got to be a guy in pop radio that would, hey, my dad used to listen to this. Wait a minute. I think I know this song, and put it on the air. And I guarantee, I don't know if this is still a phrase, the phones will light up.
Oh, and you're going to give me shit about my references on the phones?
The fuck, I'm on the phone every day at my radio show. The phones light up. It's still relevant.
The phones are going to line up.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think, you know, and this is, you know, this isn't the exact same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. There, at the end, what Chris Cornell was doing, all we do is talk about Chris Cornell in this podcast, I feel like, but at the end, he put out that great album of covers. Some of them you knew, some of them I was like, what the hell is that song? But he put his own spin on them, and he took some of those songs and made them his own. Like, you look at Patience from Guns N' Roses. Who would cover that? Nobody would. But man, he just put his own little taste on it. And you're like, oh, this is really good. You need somebody to do something like that with some of these songs. That's kind of what I'm looking for to happen.
And you would be the first one to say, Patience, it's such a staple for GNR. Let's stay away from that, Chris, and let's go somewhere else. You know what? I'm fucking Chris Cornell. Fuck you, Jason Ginty. Right. I'm gonna do Patience.
Thank God he did.
Go ahead.
But like, who's got that? Who's got that kind of juice to pull that off like he did with that album? I mean, holy shit. You're right. You know, I mean, but that's kind of what I think we're getting at is we want someone to come in here and not make them cheesy, not make it a joke, make it like, oh shit, yeah, these are great songs. We just need the right person to do them.
Cabello, Schlemil, Schlemato, More Than Words. Go do it. Do a cover of that song. More Than Words. Her little fucking girls that follow her, they never heard that song before. It's a hit. It's a hit.
Dude, where's the record labels? Why is there not a Play Pants record label right now? We just started it. We just started one.
Exhausting being the fucking smartest guy in the room at all times.
Dude, you're the only one in your room.
So tired.
The only guy sitting there.
It's exhausting. Okay?
Dude, if your dog walked in there, you'd be the second smartest thing in there. Come on now.
The fuck, you guys are all in 2022, man. I'm 2032. Okay, I'm 2032.
Oh my God, we're talking about someone should cover Beth from Kiss and make it a hit. I don't know. Maybe this conversation's just pissing into the wind right now.
All right, can we go?
Any final thoughts, Rod?
Can the Buffalo Bills have nice things? Can I have some nice things? Can I have something nice in my life? Once in my life. Can I have fucking nice things? I know you've been a Bills fan all your life. Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Can I fucking have something nice? Like a Lombardi trophy? I'd like a Lombardi trophy. Can I? Have I been at this long enough? I mean, this is the best chance that the Buffalo Bills have ever had. Well, no, not ever had, because they've been to 4 Super Bowls, and I know that you guys are going to light me up that they lost 4 in a row. This is the best they've been since in 25 years. And I think it's special enough that after you saw what they did last week, if they can kind of do 75% of what they did last week, I still think they can. I think 75% of what they did last week, they beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I don't know if they can string that together again. And Kansas City's great, but fuck. And that's not saying that they're going to beat Tennessee or the Bengals, but they're going to beat Tennessee or the Bengals. Once they get through Kansas City, fucking Bills are going to the Super Bowl. And for some reason, I have to go through a table if they make the Super Bowl, not if they win. I have to go through a table if they make the game.
Blue.
So,
Blue, you're going to jump off the top of a van onto a table, you dumbass. You're not 22.
Say how high I was going to be. No. I'm going through a table. I'm going through a table. I bought the table. I have the table.
Is it made out of like styrofoam, I hope? Because damn, that's going to hurt, bro.
Walmart on sale, $45, white table. It's there.
Can you explain to me, because I've never taken the time to figure it out, why are people from Buffalo jumping through tables? I know it's a tailgate party thing. Did some dude just do it once and then everyone started copying him? Is there like it's a thing, right? There's booze involved. I get it. But why are we jumping through tables? Do you have any idea why?
I think it's a nod to wrestling.
Oh,
so you see wrestlers out of the ring and then boom, on the announcer's table, or the guy that's keeping time, that table. It comes from that. So it comes from out of the ring, boom. So that the guys are jumping from the back of their tailgates onto the table. Now, did one guy do it? Because that wasn't, Bill's Mafia is different than jumping through tables. Bill's Mafia was, hey, let's do some cool charity things. Let's do some other things. But then the Bills were on a roll, and Barstool Sports is really the ones that brought it to the rest of the country of what the Bills were doing and how outrageously drunk they were getting. And once those tailgaters saw themselves on Barstool and they saw the viral, then everybody started doing it.
Right.
And then they wanted to make it even worse. Now we're gonna set the dude on. We're gonna set his Carhartt overalls on fire and then throw him through the table. Like the fire's just gonna go out when you break a table. The fire's still gonna be burning, and then you're gonna have to rush and put the guy out. I will give it all to Barstool Sports. The guys were doing it on their own in Buffalo, but they got a taste. Yep. They got a taste of fame, and that's and then everybody was trying to outdo everybody else. Because Pinto Rob's been doing his thing forever. The guy cooking on the Pinto and getting covered in the mustard and the ketchup. He's been doing that bit forever. This jumping through tables and stuff, this is all 5 years, 5-6 years now.
That's what I thought. And I'm like, you can't buy a table up in Buffalo during football season.
Oh, they're out.
They're all busted to shit.
They're fucking end caps everywhere you go. Okay. They are end caps, meaning when you go to a Home Depot, the first thing you see during football season are the white tables. They're all right there. They know what people are doing. They're breaking at record numbers.
Unbelievable. So, if you own a table making company, holy shit, you got to love Buffalo for that, because you're not using the damn things, you know?
They did a great bit on Fox Sports, and they threw on a guy that sounds nothing like people from Buffalo, but hey, we're down here. We're smashing tables. Come on down. I'll find the bit. I'll send it to you and we can post it.
All right. Sounds good. Oh my God.
Any final thoughts out of you? I want nice things. I want nice things.
I really want the Bills to win. You know what I mean? That would be cool. But it's just another step in the,
please.
Another step in the process. But shout out to my guy, Billy Mathias. He ran the Houston Marathon this past weekend, said it was a great experience, loved it. 26.2 miles, I think is what it is. I should know this. Shout out to him. He did it. And anyone else listening who did the Houston Marathon, congrats. I know that's a big thing.
The girl that won set a world record. The chick that won, dude, set a world record. That's a world record. That's Olympics. That's everything. She's a mom. She's in her 30s. The chick that comes in first on the marathon, world record. The chick that won the half, world record. Houston Marathon, dude. The chicks, it was all about them. It was all about them. You got the Kenyans and everything else out there. The chicks, they were the story from the marathon. So kudos to them. They took all the headlines. Which
is hard because it was cold that day and it was windy. I mean, to pull that shit off is amazing. So long story short, I haven't run a half marathon or a full marathon in a race setting yet. So I signed up in 2.5 weeks. I'm running a half marathon, the Rock and Roll Marathon. The goal is to do a half marathon in under 2 hours. Okay. And that's moving. That's cooking. That's doing pretty good. So that's my goal. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I'm training my balls off. I can't even get out of bed. But that's where I'm at in my running situation. Because people ask me all the time, hey, you running? What are you doing when we're running? It's become a thing now. So I just want to throw out there that, yes, I've got a new carrot dangling out in front of me that helps me to continue to train. Otherwise, I'd probably quit running. I need these motivational things to keep moving. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll be like, yeah, I broke 2 hours for a half. That's awesome. We'll see what happens.
Well, good luck to you.
Thanks, man.
Put on a little Velvet Revolver.
I am going to go crank up Without You from Motley Crue.
All right, that's it. Episode 37. We're done.
Check us out. Social media at Playpants Pod on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That means a lot because that way, anytime we post something, it automatically alerts you and you get this great fucking content the second it's posted. Lucky for you. And let us know. Give us comments. What do you like? What don't you like? And then let us know your top 5 power ballads of all time. It could be more newer stuff if you want. You don't have to stick with our dumb rules.
If you're still listening, put Pud Knocker in the comments.
Dude, I didn't go back and count how many tippy toes we got from a few episodes ago, but there's a lot.
Pud Knocker is what I need. If that shows that you listen to the whole thing, I need proof. I need receipts. Pud Knocker. It makes me feel like somebody's listening. Okay. I like it. Okay. It's like a coupon. It's like, oh, you got some coupons coming in. Okay. They heard the special. Okay. Pud Knocker. That guy listened to the end. Great. Thank you. That chick, Pud Knocker. Thank you for listening to the whole thing.
I'm really excited about it. Seeing how they spell that, first of all. Is it one word? Is it 2 words? Second of all, why isn't that on a shirt?
Pud Knocker.
All right. I'm done. I've had enough.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Let's go. It's time. Put on pants.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. See us on our YouTube channel and follow our social media pages at Playpants Pod.